Yeah, check 1 2, check 1 2. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? Hey, listen, man, it's the one and only trendsetter DJ Sense, and you're listening to CockTales, dirty discussions with Kiki and Medina Monroe. Yeah.
Today's cocktail is called Miss Auwa. The ingredients you need to make a Miss Auwa are 1.5 ounces of the bad stuff tequila, a 1/2 ounce of peach liqueur, 1 ounce of lime juice, 1 ounce of peach simple syrup, 1 ounce of agua dulce. Find that in your liquor store, not like a real liquor store like the little hood ones, but you got to go into like wine, total wine, one of those. A drop of vanilla extract and 4 to 5 mint leaves. So how you're going to make a Miss Auwa is you're going to combine all of your ingredients into the shaker. Add ice, shake well, strain the cocktail over ice into a rocks glass, garnish with a mint sprig and a pineapple slice. And that's a Miss Auwa.
How refreshing. I love a good little cocktail on a hot summer day.
Me too.
Welcome back to CockTales Dirty Discussions, you guys.
Hey, y'all.
How have you been?
Good. That cocktail that I just read the recipe for, it's actually one of the cocktails that we made at my cocktail making class.
How was that?
It was so much. The drink was tasty. My favorite was the Black 75. It was like a version of the French 75, but we put activated charcoal in it to make it black, like the black sand beaches in Iceland, one of the places that we're going to. So the cocktail making class, it was super fun. I never did a cocktail making class where I've never attended one myself.
I have. They're fun. Sometimes.
So much fun, an interactive. Everybody was just a good vibe. We themed all the drinks to where I'm traveling to with Paradise and Vibe, Fiji, Iceland, and Costa Rica. And each drink was delicious. It was delicious. And I loved working with Spirit and Soul Mobile Bar Co. The lady who owns it, her name is Courtney. She was just such a good ball of energy. And she loves what she does so much to the point where she found items. She went and researched the country. She hadn't been there before, but she was like, there's black sand beaches in Iceland. So I figured we can put the black, and I just loved how detail-oriented she was, and how you could tell that she loves what she's doing. For the, we used the bad stuff tequila, shout out to Megan. She infused the tequila with vanilla. She was in Costa Rica, they're known for some sort of, I think it was a brown sugar or something. She couldn't find the brown sugar, so she did it with a vanilla. It was so much fun, Kiki. The people came. Now, the weather scared me because it stormed that day.
It was a horrible weather week that whole week.
That whole week, it was rough. So we moved it inside. It was supposed to be an outdoor picnic setup. And we ended up moving inside, still doing a picnic setup. And it was just a beautiful experience. Shout out to Camille. Camille came from the Blind Date episode. She came. T came, our social media manager. It was a really good time. So I can't wait to host the next event that I end up doing. I think in October I might do a murder mystery dinner.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Have you ever
Hopefully
been
I can
one?
make it. No, I haven't.
I went on
and
those
I love murder. I mean, I don't love murder, but I love the
I know what you
stories.
mean. Yeah.
That
and
would be
making it a really cool story, created by me, acted out by people that come to dinner and probably some actors. But it's a good time. I'm just really into bringing people together and encouraging you to do activities. A lot of people are just in the house all the time, including myself. I went through a little phase of just not wanting to get out, but sometimes you need to get out, get some vitamin D, get some sun, get a community, build a community.
Try a new experience.
Yeah, what you been up to?
I am all for that. I didn't get to go to the class because I was busy being a mother.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because I was here. I wanted to go, but I couldn't. So I was being a mom to my little cousin, and it was okay for most of the week, but he is getting older, and as he gets older, it becomes more and more challenging because he's his own little person. He has his ideas, and sometimes I think he forgets I am still an adult. Everything is not a negotiation. So that can be tricky.
It is.
I volunteered at his school's field day.
Look at you. You were really a mom.
Yeah, I was doing everything. I was stressed out about making carpool lines. I fucking hate carpool lines. So I feel anybody out there who has ever had to deal with it, I totally get after school programs because who wants to deal with that? I don't care if I'm a stay-at-home mom. You go into the after school program, I will pick you up from there when it's not 3,000 other people here to pick up their children, traffic, dogs, it's hot. Just anyway. So I had him. He extended his stay. He was supposed to leave at some point on Saturday because his mom was out of town for work again. But he decided to stay a little longer. I had one of my friends, his son was in town, and they're close in age, so they were playing, and they had a really good time. And then one of my best friends came in town. It was very impromptu. Thomas, he came to visit.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, he came in super late on Friday and he left super early Sunday. But we had a good time together. We talked, we laughed, we cried. We had a good time. I needed that. And then what else?
I really love Thomas.
I love him too. He is a character. And I was wondering if he was going to be sad. I was like, hey, you know, I am being a mom, so we can't really go out too much. Like, we can go to dinner. Walker likes nice restaurants, and he's well behaved enough to go to like an adult place. We don't have to go like to a kiddie restaurant where they have crayons. But then Thomas was the one who was really tired. He had been coming back from, I can't remember where he was, somewhere in Florida. He was singing in a wedding.
Singing?
Oh, Thomas can really sing.
How come I didn't know this?
I don't know. I thought you did. He sings from time to time, but yeah, he can really sing. So he sang in one of his childhood friends' wedding. Wow. And then the people, he was telling me, he's so excited. He was telling me that people were like, oh, I thought that was the soundtrack was playing or something. That was you? Because they didn't think he sang. And he was like, that came out of my voice, you know? Wow. Yeah, so he did that. And then tomorrow, another friend is coming to visit, so I'm excited about that. My friend Sandra's coming for the weekend. And then later on in the week, my friend Soraya is coming, so we're going to have a girls' weekend this weekend. I'm really excited. I saw in the show notes one of the Indecisive Diane spots that you put down. We're going to Damsel on Saturday.
Tell me how it is.
I will.
Tell me how it is. They do a happy hour. They apparently have a really nice rooftop, but if you miss the happy hour, I told a girlfriend to go. Oh, she's not a girlfriend. She's actually a listener, and she just moved to Atlanta, and I'll be sending her stuff to do because she said she don't know what to do. And so she said she missed the happy hour, so she went downstairs to do a little performance. I didn't know that till she told me that.
Yeah, so we're going for the actual performance. We had to book our stuff a while ago. I hope the food is good. I will definitely come back with a full report on my experience. So I guess in about 3 weeks, y'all will hear that. What else did I do? Field day, all those people. I'm going on a road trip. Next weekend. So y'all know I will drag a story out. I've been talking about my grandmother's 80th birthday. The time has come. So her birthday party is next weekend. I'm really excited to go. Some things are all the way together. Some things aren't, but whatever. I'm sure that it's going to work out great. And I know that she'll just be happy that everybody's there. She doesn't know what all is supposed to happen. So that's the way we're going to keep it. And I'm just really excited. This is going to be a long drive. It's like 9 hours, I want to say. I don't usually drive, but I wasn't sure if Whitley was going to be sick or not. And then I was like, you know, when I'm thinking about it, it's like I would have to leave here, fly to Dallas, get to Dallas, rent a car, drive to Natchitoches, then drive back. It was just going to be too much. And it's like, I'm going to be in the car with a rental car anyway.
You just sparked something in me. Sorry, I don't want to forget. You said Natchitoches, and I know that's where you're from. My pastor is from Natchitoches.
What is his name?
And I said, we were like, me and Bay were like,
probably my cousin.
Because it's small, and he mentioned it in the sermon. He is from Natchitoches. His name is Mayo Sowell. Mayo Sowell, and he did go to prison for drugs, but he's a changed man now. But he went to the NFL. He went to the NFL. His name is Mayo Sowell. He said he was raised in Natchitoches, and he was talking about like going to church in Natchitoches.
How old is he?
He's like young. He has to be. I don't know exactly how old he is. He's either late 30s or early 40s. You know, you can't tell.
I'm gonna ask Sean. I wonder if she knows because they probably went to high school together.
Yeah, and then he had a church in Alabama. Now it's in Atlanta. It's called Live Atlanta. Mayo Sowell.
What a small world.
When he said that, I was like, oh my gosh,
that's so crazy. Because how often do you meet people like that? I went and I saw a oyster happy hour at this place called Rochambeau. So I was like, let me just try it. I love oysters. So I go and I met a guy. He wasn't from Natchitoches, but he was from Louisiana. And it just so happens his best friend owns these restaurants that I really love. He was like, do you go to New Orleans for Essence Fest? I said, I don't, but my mama does. He called the dude and he was like, yeah, you know, we are always super booked up. It's some nice restaurants that the man owns. And he was like, yeah, I'll hook your mama up. I said, no, give me the number because I'm not playing. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. And I'll definitely try my luck when I get out there. And then, so I know that I had mentioned doing a survey about like traveling and stuff, because y'all know I went to St. Lucia earlier this year with 10 vacation days, and that was a good time. It was a lot of relaxation and everything I wanted. They do have other trips, and I encourage you guys, if you're trying to maximize your time off, like if you have vacation days that are around holidays, I mean, if you get paid holidays, put your vacation days around those holidays if your job will allow it, so that you can really maximize the time. They have some other trips this year, but I will say while I was there, I didn't host that trip. I just, told everybody about it. I went and I enjoyed. I decided that I wanted to try and like create my own experience and do some things, because there's a lot of things that I really like to do that maybe everybody doesn't. But if I could do something where people can travel and it's more like all of what I'd like to do and how I do things. I love food. I'm a little bit of a nerd, so I do like learning about the cultures. I don't like going to a place and not really experiencing the culture of said place. I want to feel like I went there and not just Miami or just stayed at the resort. And not that that's all that was, but I know that sometimes people don't want to do the legwork of planning things out. So I've teamed up with another company, and I've got a little team together. And so I put that survey together just to get feelers to see if people were even interested. It's not a retreat. It's not anything like that. We don't have any workshops, so there's definitely going to be activities. So there's a new survey that is more conclusive, and there's like a sign up thing so that whenever the trip goes live, it won't be until 2025. So you got time to save. You've got time for the payment plan. There are payment plans, but we're going to be enjoying food. We're going to be experiencing the culture of wherever we decide to go. There's options on there. So you guys are helping me decide. You're helping me decide how many activities and all of that stuff. But I'm really excited about it. So make sure y'all click the link in the description box to take that survey so that we can finalize things. And I'll be announcing where we're going to go in the next couple weeks. But
what is it between?
So the options are Curacao. I had a fabulous time in Curacao. I think that the water is beautiful. The sand is beautiful. The temperature was perfect. You don't have to worry about hurricanes. I mean, beginning of the year is when it'll be between January and April. That's not hurricane season, but still that stresses me. Nobody wants to have a trip ruined by weather. So Curacao, Colombia, Costa Rica. What else is on there? Mexico, because you can never go wrong with Mexico.
You can't, and the tacos is busting.
And then I think those are the only options. I do plan to do a trip to Thailand, but that will be later in the year. That one will need to stay a little bit longer. But for the first one, I wanted it to be a shorter trip, somewhere around 4 to 6 days. So I'm excited about that, and I hope that you guys are too. Please take the survey. If you took the other one, this is a new one. Thank you for sharing your responses. This one has a little bit more details about what's going to be going on. And I think that if you sign up and you select yes, that you want us to let you know when the trip goes live, there's a special offer for whenever the trip does go live to everybody who did the survey. So I'm excited. And the company that I teamed up with, did you ever watch that show, Emily in Paris?
I started it, but I never finished it.
Okay, so I watched it. I think there were 2 seasons. I don't know. But anyway, they had worked with Netflix, and they created an experience where you could go to Paris and you have an Emily in Paris experience, right?
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, oh, this seems really cool. Now, this is what I'm talking about, like how I read these books sometimes and they might be in a certain destination.
What company you're talking about.
Maybe.
I do, yes.
And so they had hit me up, and then there was another company that hit me up, and then there was another company.
They hit me up. This must be a thing right now. They definitely.
Everybody's traveling.
Yeah.
And then there was another company that I reached out to that has done some fabulous trips. I've seen a lot of YouTubers. So I talked to everybody, and I figured out, which way I wanted to go, which was more in line with me. I think it's important. I want to get good photos. I don't know about you. I love having good photos on a trip. I want to eat good. I'm not if you're the type of person that doesn't care what you eat, this ain't gonna be the trip for you. And if you don't really care where you sleep, this ain't gonna be the trip for you, because I care. I want it to be nice. I want people to feel safe and comfortable. I want to luxuriate. I want to have a good time. I just want to do a lot of fun stuff. So anyway, been able to work with some different people and figure out what's going to work best for this. And I'm just really excited about this new thing. So we'll see how it goes. But y'all make sure that you sign up for the emails and you take the survey and all that good stuff.
Travel is very
It's so
much
important.
needed. It is. It
There's so many different
rewires
ways
your
to do
brain.
it. You can relax, you can reset, you can try something new. I think we've both been talking about like trying new things and how important that is for a while. And I've just realized how many people can be stuck in their ways and not really open to trying new things. And sometimes getting totally outside of your comfort zone in a new environment will really spark that. So
Speaking of trying new things, I have been working out with this. It's a free workout group. It's called Hills for Atlanta. My girlfriend, Shanisha, she is the owner of Black Mom's Blog. We've been working out a lot together, and she finds all these free workouts. So I went with her a few weeks ago. I've been going for about a month now.
do you like it?
I'm so sore.
I bet.
I'm so sore. I won't say that I like it. I do like it. I don't like working out, and I'm just being honest about it. It's so challenging for me, but I've been reading a lot of books and stuff about like how you rewire your mind. Travel is one of them. Movement is one of them. Working out is high on the list. And I'm talking about like working out to where the point where you do have to like overcome mental obstacles. I'm not talking about just like a cute little jog or an elliptical. It's like body workouts where you're outside and every workout you do, you go up the hill. And it is it's difficult for me. Like working out for me it challenges my confidence. Cause I've been trying to figure out like, why do I hate it so much? Like, yes, I'm out of breath and I don't like it, but I really thought about it today because I went this morning. And I was like, I know what it is. And even when I work out with my boyfriend, it's a confidence thing for me. I feel ugly when I work out. I'm always struggling. Like I'm more than likely going to be the last person finished. And if I'm not the last person, I am struggling. I look I just look crazy doing it. Like some people look cute when they work out because they have.
I'm not one of them, but I know what you mean.
I really struggle. And there is just like a hurdle I have to get over in my mind. And I think I have to do it through working out because, like I said, it's like all tied with my confidence, and it feels good to like recognize that. I love working out with this group. It's like almost 100 people come. He does it in the morning and he does it in the evening at Piedmont Park, and their Instagram is at 4 Hills Atlanta. The number 4. This is not an ad. Like I go and I'd be out there looking crazy, slipping up and down the hill, and it's people of all levels. And I think that it's really important when you see people that have accomplished some of their fitness goals, like what it represents if you worked for it. It represents like an obstacle that you had to overcome to get to this point. Everybody struggles with working out. It's just you give up or you don't.
Yeah.
And so now that I look at it like that, it's like, wow, it really is like a beautiful thing when you see somebody that worked for what they got. And it's like, it's hard. It makes you, people who are consistently working out, it makes you think differently. And I want that.
That discipline,
the consistency. And there's a lot of transitions in my life right now. And I was like, I really gotta do this, bitch. I'll be out there. And I'm with a man he's the man that he's first and I'll be last. And I'll be like, it also has helped me work with comparison. Like, stop. It's a beautiful experience. So I don't know if anybody is struggling with a little something, but maybe challenge yourself to work out and put a little wellness in your life. Go on one of these trips with me or Kiki and do it. I also wanted to say, I forgot to say this a few weeks ago. I went on a podcast called Across Generations hosted by Tiffany D. Cross. It was such a good time. It was such a different type of platform for me. She was a news anchor, and now she has a podcast with, I hate that I forgot her name because she's a big part of the Black community. Who's the Black news anchor? She's young. And she's not young anymore, but she's kind of young. She's in her 40s, I think. She used to date Common. You know who I'm talking about? She always be going off on people, but she be intelligent. Angela Rye. Right now she has a podcast with Angela Rye and some other news guy. And she has Across Generations. And what she does is she brings 2 people on the show from different generations. So I was the younger generation, and then Usher's ex-wife, Tamika Foster, was the other generation. We were basically talking about marriage and how much I believe in it, and losing yourself in a man, and how I don't look at it like that, and how she did. She does that with each topic. She'll bring on a different person from each of the generations, and you kind of just have this amazing conversation. It was such a good time. So shout out to her. Listen to her podcast if you haven't. I wanted to say I had a shy scare last night.
What happened?
Girl, our dogs are really our babies.
They are. Because I done got the camera set up. I be checking on her. Like, what you doing?
So Shy, I didn't know what happened. She was okay. And then we went on a walk. I've been forcing her to walk because my baby does not like walk. She's old. We got 2 generations of dogs. My baby is old. She's about 10, almost 11. So I've been making her walk because you still got to move, baby girl.
I want to have arthritis and all those issues.
Right. And so she came back and we were getting ready for bed. I took a shower and I noticed she was like super like lethargic. She was just being weird and she wouldn't sleep in her bed. And Shy loves being comfy in her bed. She kept getting out and laying flat on the floor, like flat on the floor. And I was like, something is wrong. So I sat on the floor with her and I'm like rubbing her and her belly was just expanded. Like almost if you like, when you're being funny, you try to push your belly out to be funny.
Or you might not have to push it out if you mean.
Or you might not have to push it out. And it was just a big old belly. And I was like, what is wrong? And I could tell she was just like, I'm uncomfortable. I don't know what to do. So I started Googling stuff. You know, you can scare yourself with Google. There's this thing called bloat that dogs could get. And it's like, if it's bloat, you need to go to the vet right now because their stomach turns upside down and they will die most likely. So I'm like, what is wrong? But she wasn't, they said that she would be making noises and maybe crying and she wasn't doing that. So I was like, okay, it said maybe rub her belly. So I'm rubbing her belly and she burps and I've never heard Shy burp.
Did she just have really bad gas?
She had really bad gas. And what I read was what it can come from is like if you take your dog to work out, which the short walk is a workout for her little old overweight ass. And she came back and guzzled her water and guzzled her food. And she had gas and she was uncomfortable. That belly was so big. So then I just kept rubbing her something. I was pushing it a little bit and then I just stayed up with her. I was like, I can't go to sleep with her not feeling. So I went and slept on the couch with her. She was just burping. Then she farted and she would scare herself every time. It was so funky. I had to put her on the floor. I was like, okay, this is good. And she just kept farting the whole night and burping and then she was okay. And I was like,
that's scary.
It was so, because they can't talk. And you really are like, what's wrong?
It's like a baby, no matter how old she is. She's still like a baby because she can't communicate. And then they have those sad faces.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I'm so glad she's good. I had a little scare.
Yeah, thank goodness. All right, well, I guess you guys, we will move on to weird sex and then we'll get back to our topics. It's spring. Flowers are blooming. Spring is in the air. The birds are chirping. And that means it's time to clear out your cabinet and make some space for Via Hemp. Via Hemp are our absolute favorite gummies. They have so many different types. I know that while I love the High Love and you guys hear us rave about how much we love the High Love, they have so many different ones. I love the Flow State. It doesn't even have THC in it. There are other ones. There's the Zen, there's Dreams, there's Cloud9. They range in the amount of potency of the THC. So some of them don't have any, and then some of them go up to 100 milligrams. And what I love is that Via Hemp is a lifestyle hemp brand, and they're just amazing. They have so many good products.
When you said it's spring and it's time to make room for Via Hemp, I was like, oh, I already did. It's also time for vacation. So they can help you relax, have a little date night, have a little fun with Via Hemp. I absolutely love the Flow State also. Love the High on Love for a good date night or a good little grind session with my bae. But the Flow State really helps you focus, you guys. And it's like, you don't even really feel it. You just all of a sudden, you ever seen that movie Limitless, where all of a sudden he's really smart. He pops that pill. He can do everything. He can speak Japanese. He could do math. All of a sudden, you're not good at math. Like,
what?
It's just,
I've never seen this.
It is a really good movie.
Okay,
and watch it. But that is how the Flow State makes me feel. I can accomplish anything when I pop that Flow State. You don't feel crazy. You just feel like, wow, I'm Superwoman or Superman. Super.
Yeah, and sometimes like when I'm really in focus mode or I know that I have a ton to do, I will make the horrible mistake of not getting my rest and I'll just stay up and grind it out. And it's like I lay down and I'm trying to sleep and then it's like, well, if I can't sleep, I may as well do more work. No, it's time to take the Zen gummy. It's time to take Dreams. It's time to take Cloud9 because you need to relax and just go to sleep.
Also,
and have
if you have a really long flight ahead, I travel the world, y'all, and I will always just pop one right before I head to the airport to get on my plane so I can make sure I'm going to not have any anxiety and go right to sleep.
So y'all need to make sure you try it out if you're 21 and over. So if you're 21 and over, check out the link to Via in our description and use the code CockTales, CockTales, and you will get 15% off. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please show our show some support and tell them that we're the ones who sent you. Take your passion and your pleasure to a whole new level with High Love from Via Hemp.
You said a man is not a necessity, a man is a luxury.
Like dessert. Yeah. A man is absolutely not necessity.
Did you mean that to sound mean and bitter?
Oh, not at all. I adore dessert. I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live.
So this week's Weird Sex, a few of y'all sent me this story. I thought it was absolutely crazy and disgusting. This person didn't have sex, but let me tell you guys what happened at Whole Foods right here in Atlanta.
Love me some Whole Foods.
Me too. And apparently some people must have sexual fantasies that have to do with Whole Foods. So this woman is in the grocery store minding her business shopping. She saw this guy and she said nothing really stood out about him. He was there shopping. He didn't seem suspicious. He wasn't doing anything weird. And then eventually he kept getting closer and closer to her. She felt a warm, gooey substance, and she thought that he like poured something on her or sprayed something on her. She touched it. He ejaculated on her back and then took off running. So she's like making noise in the store, trying to get somebody's attention. She wanted to make a scene. He got out of the store. He ended up getting caught. He fled the scene in a car, was driving, ended up getting pulled over. But this man nutted on this lady's back in the middle of Whole Foods. Like, excuse me?
I would be so mad. I can't even laugh at that. I would be so mad. Bodily fluid, that's why I'm getting a gun.
And then it's like, you're in the store. What else were you touching with those nasty hands? And why would you want to do that to somebody? And what was in your nut?
People
I hate
are
that
getting
happen.
weird, more weird each and every day. Like, I just like, what's happening with people? Is it something in the water?
Is it drugs?
Is it
I always go to
drugs? Like,
drugs.
what's wrong with y'all?
I don't know, but that was very strange. So y'all watch your backs, literally, while you're out here in these streets, because people are very horny and they are busting nuts on the nut aisle and other ones too. So be careful and keep sending those stories in to me. I appreciate it.
I want to remind everybody to join Patreon. If you haven't joined our Patreon community yet, it's a great way to support Kiki and I and let us keep doing what we're doing for you, which is giving you free content every Thursday. You get some bonus episodes. We started a new little, I'll call it a little series, Cocktails in the Streets. Make sure you guys join. Patreon.com/CockTales. Okay, so I put on here briefly discuss, because by now this has been weeks, but it was the seriousness of the video. I just feel like we talk about dating, relationships, all that good stuff. And apparently a lot of men are out here abusing women. Did you see the Diddy video of him?
You know, I did.
Kiki, did you see the apology video?
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay.
I watched it on mute because I wasn't trying to hear shit that man had to say. When the allegations initially became public, you got your black ass
You went the
on
extra
Beyonce's
mile.
internet and said that people are out to get you, that it was a lie.
People
you had
want
your
a quick
attorney,
payday.
Your attorney is saying that people are lying. You're saying all this is a lie. Now all of a sudden, you look like you somewhere sitting next to Russell Simmons in Bali or some shit, apologizing for your actions because you were in a dark space. I think I told somebody, I said, if any actual evidence comes out, like videos or photos or something like that, that's really damning and it becomes public, I guarantee you he's going to issue an apology, because he's not going to be able to say it's not him. And I know he's going to say he talked to the lady, maybe even throw in, I went to rehab, or I'm in rehab for a little razzle dazzle. And that's what he did. It's like, you talking about you were in a dark place in your life and all of this. No. Well, yes, you were, and I think you're still in a dark place, and I think you're just a dark, nasty person, but you said that it was a lie, so don't come to us now talking about you were in a dark place, and you had to seek help, and you did, and that's not who you are, because what the fuck are you talking about? You're sorry that we saw it. You're sorry that your world is crumbling. You're sorry that no amount of threats and money has kept this away. And I want to know, because I heard he paid somebody $50,000
to the Intercontinental. That one is now
Who
closed
accepted
down.
the money?
And they need to be in trouble too.
Big trouble.
And it was really just like the amount, like,
And who held on to it for all this time? I want to know how the video came out. I have a few theories, but I would really like to know. There's so many questions. But it's like, if that's what you did in the hallway, what were you doing behind closed doors? And that wasn't the only time. It's not like that was the catalyst for the breakup.
the way that he just grabbed her in that whole video, it's like, that wasn't your first, it made me wonder, like, it wasn't your first time with someone you're in a romantic relationship with. The amount of like anger that he had, you probably hitting on your kids like that. Like, he probably treats the people around him that work with him bad. Like,
I mean, we saw Making the Band, and that was for TV. So who knows what happened when the cameras were down?
I am so invested in what's going to happen to Diddy because this is just crazy to me that you've really been living your whole life like this. People around you knew. They knew it. And
there's been rumors for years, and all these people have been like, well, everybody's trying to tear a black man down, and the black man is trying to tear us down. So
this
who's
really
right and
isn't
who's
even
wrong?
about race. When I look in the comments and people are saying that, it's like, so are we saying that if he was white,
we should sweep it under the rug? That's what y'all's families be doing, and that's why Uncle such and such is still touching on all the kids. That's not okay. It doesn't matter if he's black. It doesn't matter what race he is. It doesn't matter who he is, how much money he has. You don't do shit like that to people.
And it's not okay to sit around and watch it. Like, you gotta tell somebody, or you gotta tell somebody. Like, the people at that hotel that saw that. How can you sleep at night? Like, what if he would have killed her for $50,000? Like, bro, that I've just felt like, and then like I was really reading the comments and looking at some of the just ignorant things people were saying.
So much stuff.
Why would she stay for so long? Why? While there is room for conversation like that, I get both sides of the conversation where people are just curious, like what would make somebody say, but when you have conversations like that, I feel like you got to really talk to the therapists, professionals, and understand the psychological strain that comes with abuse. I've never witnessed it. I mean, I've never experienced it to that point. I think every woman has been in a slight, you maybe dated someone and had a feeling they would be abusive, and some people can see it and some people can't. But to blame the victim, I'm always like, why is that the first thing that y'all have to say?
It's so frustrating. Even when we did our episode with Ariel B, and I'm reading the comments, and I had to stop because I was getting really frustrated. There were a few people that I talked to, and I was like, well, let me not come off too abrasive because I do want this to be a learning moment. And I'll say it again. I think that people forget, like you said, the psychological state that you're in. And then also, you don't know, like many people do leave, and they leave, and that person, whoever the abuser is, comes and gets them and brings them right back. There's so much control that goes into it, and it's not like you can just snap your fingers. You can contact the police, and sometimes nothing happens. And that's just the God's honest truth. Sometimes you might be fearful. They might threaten other family members or threaten your children. So until you get your plan together, you do stay. And then I want to ask people this, because I think that sometimes people maybe think that whenever you're in a physically abusive situation, whether it be a relationship, situationship, whatever, that the first time something happens, it's like a black eye or something really violent. How many times have you been in a situation where somebody pushed you or held your wrist too tight or choked you? How many times have you been the one to do that? Did you or the other person, whoever was on the receiving end of those aggressions, did you leave? Probably not. Sometimes it's a buildup. And a lot of times these people start by tearing down your confidence. They isolate you from your family and your friends. They do all sorts of other mind games before the physical stuff comes. Sometimes it never escalates to physical, but there is a cycle of abuse that happens in so many situations. So you guys have to remember that. And you also don't know what kind of families people come from. You might have been taught to always leave. You might have been taught the signs, the red flags, all of this stuff. But if you grow up in a household where this is the norm, and you're taught that this is the norm, or you're taught that you don't tell your family business to your friends or to anyone else, and you just deal with it, or you do tell somebody in your family and they're making you feel like it's your fault too, or all of your friends or the people in the comments of that episode or wherever else, and they're saying, well, why didn't you just leave? You need to leave the first time. Then you feel like you have nowhere to go. And that is a very lonely place. And so sometimes until you can figure it the fuck out, you do just stay there.
And people, I think a lot of times when things happen, people forget about just like if we take it down a scale down, not abuse, but just fear in general. Fear is so controlling. Fear stops people from accomplishing dreams that you are very capable of accomplishing. We've all experienced something that you are controlled by fear, and you keep just putting it off. You're like, I'm not gonna do it. But there are people who are scared to get on airplanes. I don't understand that, because it's like, bitch, you need to see the world. They are so scared to get on an airplane. We have grandparents that will never get on an airplane. They don't care. They will stay in their little town, not get on the plane, because there's a fear that they have. People who are scared of dogs, even little dogs that are small. Grown people that are scared of water. Water. We get in water and we bathe in water. I might not understand that fear. I don't understand that fear and I won't act like it. If I was at a pool party, somebody's like, I'm terrified of water, I'm not just gonna push you in the water. I'd be like, bitch, get over it. That's not how you work with fear. There are steps. There is, I mean, like, I really be looking at people like, does your family see what you're saying? In these countries.
They might think the same damn thing, and it's sad out here in these streets.
It's sad. And then I really wonder, and I know if some people be like, Carisha don't got nothing to do with it, but she does. She does, because ain't no way you spent this much time with this man and you didn't know he was abusive. And then the stuff that be coming out of I just really wonder every step of the way who really saw something and just was like, I'm not going, this ain't my business.
And here's another thing to that point about Carisha. A lot of times women will hear rumors or know that this person has been abusive to somebody else, but how many times have you heard somebody say, oh, it won't happen to me, with so many different things? Oh, he got the right one. He can do it to her, but he's not going to try that with me. People think that, and maybe he won't, right? But how do you know? You don't. And I think that a lot of people get blinded by so many different things. In Diddy's case, I'm sure it's the money.
It's definitely the money.
But it happens with people who don't have no money.
Yeah.
Some people are fearful of not having a relationship.
Some people don't have family, and it's like
you have nowhere to go. Or you're tired of being lonely, or you don't have any self-worth for whatever reason, and you feel like this is what you deserve, or you don't deserve better. And it happens to so many people. You might be in an environment where other people are dealing with the same thing. It doesn't make it right. I just wish that for the people who keep being so like black and white about it,
look at your own life. It ain't black and white.
Abuse is not black and white when you're in it. And it's so sad to see, because that's the reason that so many people don't speak up, that so many people don't seek help, because they feel like people are going to do that. They're going to blame them and say it's all their fault. And that's why so many people would rather just stay in it or hurt themselves to get out of it, you know? And I just wish that people would slow down and think. There's a reason. People are not just getting their ass beat because they enjoy it.
And then the amount of men that like stories are, I mean, women been getting beat since the men had hands. Yeah. But the amount of people coming out with stories, I didn't know that. I think her name is FK Twigs. Shia LaBeouf was beating her ass.
I heard about that some years ago.
The amount of stories where it's like, bro, what is wrong with y'all? The men. I'm talking about the men. Like, what happens to where you're just like, and I'm gonna start going upside heads today.
And some women do it too. I mean, I've watched women who kill, and sometimes people snap, and sometimes you just been abusing this little man all his life. It's not okay for y'all to do it either. I understand we get upset. It's not okay to put your hands on people. It's not okay to treat people that way. Don't break somebody down. That shit ain't cool. If your life is fucked up, go be by yourself, Eeyore. I don't like it.
And have compassion when people do decide to speak up, because like Kiki said, this is why people don't want to speak up. I know plenty of people around that have just done inappropriate things. I never said anything. I was like, first of all, it's not that big of a deal. It was. Second of all, people gonna be like, why are you? And then you'd be like, you know, it's just not worth it.
People will make you second guess, even though you did have that feeling in the back of your head. This is not okay. I feel uncomfortable. I feel unsafe or whatever. But people will try and make you downplay it. Or they tell you, well, I talked to the lady. I'm going to work on it. It won't happen again. Or, you know, there's just a million things that people can say, whether it's the person who hurt you or the people around you who maybe saw it or you confided in them. And it'll just have you second guessing yourself. Stop acting like ain't nobody played mind games with you.
Stop it, because y'all going back. Let me not even get started. Before we move on to Indecisive Diane, I want to make sure that we end that conversation with, if you are involved in domestic violence or you know somebody that is, even if they're not talking to you right now, send them the phone numbers for help. In the United States, the number for the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-7233. For those who are unable to speak safely, you can also text START to 88788 or chat online with their hotline. So make sure, again, if you even think somebody's being abused, just send it to them. Maybe you don't want to tell me. You can't actually input yourself and make somebody leave. But
yeah, you can't. But
you can just try to send resources.
And just pick up the phone. Be that listening ear if you can handle it, to be supportive of them so that they know that they're not on their own. Please don't ask them why the fuck they didn't leave yet. Please don't.
That's wild.
Just be there for people. Have some compassion. And let's spread some love and positivity to the people so that they don't keep making the same mistakes. You know what I mean? Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we move on?
There was, but we'll save it for another week.
Okay.
So we'll move on to Indecisive Diane, and when we come back, we have one advice letter to read with you guys.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? What do you want?
Hey ladies, it's me, Diane. And listen up, I know a lot of people don't really want to go to cold places, but Iceland is so different. It's sexy. There's the Blue Lagoon. Go ahead and book right now. Save your spot. Put your down payment down at paradiseandvibe.com. Tell them Medina sent you, because she's hosting the trip. It's going to be such a good time. Bring your babe, bring your girls, come alone. Bye, ladies.
Okay, so we are back from Indecisive Diane, and it is time for the advice. If you have a question that you would like to ask us on the show, make sure you email us advice@cocktailspod.com. Okay, so this one says, what a damn shame. My ass don't got no game. Ooh.
At least she honest and aware of it.
I understand, girl. I understand. So she says, hey, ladies, I need some of your dating advice right about now. I've been a loyal fan for years. I even came to one of your live shows and had the Patreon for a couple of months. Well, come on back, girl.
Right.
But this is my first time writing in, so here's the issue. I've been single for a year and a half, and I've had such bad luck with men. I don't know what it is. I've had multiple guys approach me, say they're going to plan a date for us, and then I never hear from them again. Like, was it something I said? Or guys will hit me with the old faithful, I have a lot going on right now, as an excuse to stop talking to me. Where do I keep going wrong with men? I'm not delusional. I don't be trying to force them to be my husband off rip. I'm chill as fuck. I'm a little shy, but once I open up, I think I'm a pretty cool person. I hear so many girls talk about their rosters and how many men they have. Even the not so attractive girls, Lord forgive me. And I can't relate at all. It's like guys just don't like me. I feel like Molly with a broken pussy, but I don't even be fucking these niggas. Ladies, help me figure out what's wrong with me. I need some game.
Does your breath stink? That's the first thing I thought about when she read. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Do you stink? Like, do you need to go to lumideodorant.com and use code CockTales to get a percentage off? I'm not trying to be funny, sis. I'm just trying to give you all of the things. Does your breath stink? And do you have bad odor? Or do you have bad energy? I'm trying. You said you're not having sex with them, so it's not like they're just using you for sex. I hope you wouldn't lie about that. If you really sleeping with these niggas, sometimes, hey, listen, you gotta take the L, and maybe that's what it is. But it might be your energy. Maybe you think that you might be so chill and so shy to the point where you come off boring. I know I have met plenty of great guys, and when I was single and gone on dates with them, and I was like, when I talked, I didn't tell them this because it is rude, but talking to you is like pulling teeth. I don't like when we have people that come on the show that do that. You will not be back. And I don't like if I'm on a date and it's just like, I know it's the first date, and even if you are a little shy, like say that up front then, because this is like pulling teeth. I'm not gonna do this all day.
I mean, I'm wondering what's happening, because if you're not even making it to the date. So it's like, okay, you meet guys out, they approach you, so they find you attractive. They say that they're going to plan a date, and then they don't. What do you mean they don't? I wish you would have put more details, because I'm wondering, okay, do they just not ever hit you up after that initial exchange in person when you're meeting them? Or do they hit you up and it just never amounts to plans, and then they tell you they have a lot going on right now? Maybe if they're not ever hitting you up, well, I don't know why they bothered in the first place. Maybe they aren't even really single and they just wanted to see if they still got it, and it was just like a mean thing to do because you thinking that they single and about to really plan a date and they not.
Where are you meeting them at? Can you email us back and let us know where you're meeting them at?
And then also, okay, if they do hit you up after the initial meet, Are you dry in the conversation? Is there no conversation?
Is there a phone call?
Is it a phone call? Is it a text? Is it FaceTime? Like, what's going on? Because I'm wondering if maybe you just need to be a little bit more forward and try that. Maybe you're too chill. And they feel like you're not feeling them.
You might be too nonchalant. Mm-hmm. You might be too nonchalant, and you might need to not be with new people and let your personality shine. To me, it sounds like you might be boring.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you didn't give us any details to work with. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you don't
and it's not all about how you look physically. So the girls who are not that attractive and have their rosters, maybe they're really interesting. Or beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Maybe they are attractive to many men, and you just thought they weren't for whatever reason.
Or they might be fun. I used to like some ugly niggas that was fun. Like
she must be talking to them because she says she's not trying to force them to be her husband off the rip. When you open up and talk, what you talking about? Because maybe it's also what you're talking about.
Let us know that in the email too. I really am curious to know like what exactly is it. Maybe send a picture of yourself.
Because I was watching Bridgerton and what's her name? Penelope. She was talking, but then she was being a little weird when she finally did get comfortable to open up, and she was just rambling about shit that nobody could relate to or cared about. So maybe you should ask more questions before you start sharing. I don't know. Write us back and fill in those blanks that you left out because we would like to help you, but we don't know where to start, girl.
I have a girlfriend. She's really pretty. She do be sleeping with niggas, but they don't ever talk to her afterwards either. She's really pretty. All the things that the people want, she's pretty. Natural body, super long. She's really pretty. I'm just going to put it out there. But the personality ain't there. And it's not even that she's like a bitch. She's just boring. And when she opens her mouth, like literally, I love you, girl.
Even on the dates?
Just in general. Even sometimes when we hang out, I need somebody else to be there because it's just, I got to control the whole conversation. It's draining. But she has this thing, I forget, it's a condition. It's the nervous laugh. And she just laughs. Like, just say something it's not even a joke.
So today I was working on my family tree. I would be like, is this bitch on some drugs or something? Y'all know I think everybody's on fucking drugs.
See, like, and I thought that too, but then she has the nervous laugh, and you got to let somebody know. When I figured that, I was like, oh, damn, I'm still going to be your friend.
Like the Joker.
Yeah.
I just watched that movie recently.
So I don't know if you have something like that going on, but it might. I don't know, but it is you. I'm not going to lie. It's something about you.
Yeah. Because we don't know shit about them. Hell. Okay. Well, you don't have an advice, right? We just have one. Okay. So if you need some advice, you, ma'am, write us back, give us those details, and everybody else, email us advice@cocktailspod.com so that hopefully we can help you. Give us enough details. It don't have to be that damn concise.
Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe.
Okay, today's cocktail. Oh, now it's time for the cocktail. Sorry, y'all. Now it's time for the cocktails. Okay, so the cocktail today doesn't have a title. It says, "Hey, ladies," in my Diane voice. I needed to tell you this cocktail because it literally happened last night, and I didn't want to forget any details. It's a bit long, but totally worth it. It is long. Last night, I saw a big chocolate man. He came to see me, and we've already been on a date, but nothing physical. The flirting is definitely there, and the sexual tension can be felt by anyone around us. Not even a kiss or holding my hand. I know his 6'4" ass is not scared of my 4'10" self because he be all up in my messages telling me how he be eating me up. And I should bring him a bib. Ooh. Okay, juicy crab. He was always talking about how he's trying to be respectful, but nigga, no disrespect. Tear my ass up. He texted me around 10 p.m. telling me he was on his way over to me, and I was literally at my house 5 minutes later. We took my dog on a quick walk around my area, but we can't go too late because of coyotes, and he was telling me that it stresses him out when I walk outside by myself because I'm so little. We got back from the walk, and I sent my dog inside, and the mood was set. We were sitting on my deck talking and having a smoke. It got a little chilly, and I went inside to get a blanket. She's real detailed, and said I could start up the outside fireplace. He didn't want his own blanket, even though he was freezing, and ended up pulling me on to his lap. I sat there and cuddled up into him. It was still conversing. I was rubbing my feet on him because they were cold, in which he started telling me that he's a feet man. and couldn't be with a girl who had ugly feet, all while examining mine. Then that would make me nervous. I remember one time I was on the beach and met a podiatrist, and he was like, I'm a podiatrist and I like looking at people. So this was before I got my bunion removed. He started critiquing my bunion. I was like, get the fuck.
Do you think that I went and got this implanted in my foot? Nigga, damn. I met a chiropractor at the club, and he was doing adjustments in the club. I think that's dangerous. You are drunk.
Leave me alone.
Anyway.
I'm about to sue you. Okay. Then he started asking me what a couple more questions. Favorite body part on a man, non-negotiables in a relationship. And he honestly was taking too long because I felt his peen stiffening up under me. I was examining his chest and all his tattoos and went right into what's your favorite sex position. And he was trying to explain it, still while being respectful. But I just told him to show me. I knew he was nervous because he hasn't been intimate in 7 months with a woman. He's not a hoe, but his big Ben, that's what he calls his penis because it's 9.5 inches, wanted to greet me. And I ended up taking him inside and we were kissing and he's sliding his big hands up my shorts, rubbing my clit and fingering me. Did he wash his hands? That's the old lady in me. Because now that I'm older, I'd be like, go wash your hands real quick.
I don't need nothing getting thrown off.
Please. Now I need Lumi. Now I got to put a look. Okay. So my pussy sounded like he was stirring the pot. She was gushing and ready to get penetrated. I just wanted to hop on it. But I remember that he was talking shit in the text about what if it was bad? What if I was bad at sex? He might have to ghost me. So I said, let me give him a little tease and show him what I'm working with. He pulled off his tight shirt, revealing all his glistening muscles. Then I slid down his shorts, revealing his big old peen. He started stroking it and I went to work, telling him how pretty Big Ben is. I gently took him into my mouth, sliding my lips over his tip, letting all my saliva drip down his long shaft. He let out the biggest sigh of relief, and it was on, about to become a semen demon. I was swishing him in my mouth, slurring and slucking. I glided down his shaft, flicking his balls with my tongue while stroking him. I turned my mouth into a vacuum. He was squirming, moaning, groaning, gripping the back of my neck and face. Face fucking me, the shit out of me. Ooh, I was losing lashes, tearing up in one eye, blowing bubbles and doing the works. I was doing the 3000 using both hands and my mouth. I knew I had taken that nigga's soul. I looked up between his legs, grinning after hearing him call my name. I stood up and wiped my mouth. Then he started up with his respectful shit, talking about I didn't plan for you to sit in it, but you're more than welcome to. Maybe he meant on it.
Oh yeah.
Nigga, you just fucked my face upside down. Respect has gone out the window. I said, shit, it's so pretty. I just might have to sit on it. I asked him which way he wanted it, and he goes, I want to see your pretty little face. So I got up on top of him and slid down on Ben. He told me to take it slow because I could feel him on every wall and he was stretching the hell out of me. I slowly started bouncing on it and shifting my hips back and forth, thighs getting wet, pussy getting slippery. He was whispering, don't come, as I started finding my rhythm. And he pulled me up and said, give me a second. And I started to giggle because I knew he wasn't able to handle my gorilla grip pussy. I started playing with myself and spread my legs open and leaning back so he could get a better view, and his eyes lit up. And I knew he was ready to go for another round. I climbed up on top, facing the other way, ready to get my rent paid. I don't even rent. I was bouncing and jiggling my ass on him, lifting up to the tip and slamming back down on it. He was crying out to the heavens, screaming, oh my God, gripping my ass cheeks. He held me for a second and put all 9 inches in me, hitting the top of my cervix. And I asked him if that's all of it. And he said, heck no, you want to feel it? I looked back and said, I'm good as I was already filled and didn't have any more room. I went back to getting the job done, and he's begging me to slow down, and I just sped up, and he's telling me he's gonna come and asking me where, and I might have forgot to tell him I have a breeding kink. What? He was holding my hips. What is breeding? Does that mean you want
to get pregnant? Are you a puppy?
He was holding my hips, asking if I'm on birth control. Like, sir, we are too late. Give me my nut and fill me up. He pushed me down and unloaded into me, moaning in my ear. I slid off and laid on my back, letting this come marinate inside of me. We both breathing heavy and thinking about how good that sex just was. He was looking over, telling me how he wasn't ready for all that, and that this round goes to me because I finished him. I said, I know you weren't ready for my pretty pussy, but you're welcome. The final thing he said was, welcome to the dark side. I hope you know you ain't taking no white peen anymore. I live in the country and usually only date white guys. He got dressed and left, and I took my ass right to bed, sleeping in my wet spot. He even texted me the next morning telling me all the shit he forgot to do to me because he was so stunned. And now Big Ben belongs to me. Safe to say, I might make him my man, my man, my man. You might be pregnant.
Okay.
Thanks for reading this, ladies, with love. Thank you so much for sending that, and thank you for the details.
Yes, that was a good cocktail.
That was.
I'm glad you had a good time, and early congratulations, because I bet you are a pregnant bitch. Mm-hmm. You guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. If you have a cocktail that you would like to submit, please email us cocktails@cocktailspod.com. Make sure you sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/cocktails. And then also, please don't forget to sign up and take the survey and include your email address so when the trip goes live, you can check it out. Also, make sure that you are following us on Instagram. We're at Cocktails Podcast. I'm at Kiki Said So.
I'm the Coffee Bean Dean.
And until next week, you guys, goodbye.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Population.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Wait on the drive. Bye. Bye. Bye.